everyone, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of the 411 with West Texas Rehab. As always, I've got a wonderful guest with me today. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Perfect. So let's introduce you to all of the folks.
Sure. My name is Melissa Salvato, and I'm the director of the Building Bridges program for West Texas Rehab's Hospice of San Angelo.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is a great program, and we're going to talk all about it. So first, we got to know what it is.
Yes, it is a grief support program for children who have lost a loved one. It's for school-aged children, kinder, all the way up to 12th grade. And it's for anyone significant in their life who has died. It could be a parent, it could be grandparents, siblings, any family member. It could also be a close friend, a teacher, a coach, just anyone significant in their life that they have lost.
Yeah, because it's hard for us adults to process those emotions.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you work with the kids on that.
Yes, definitely. A big part of our program is helping them to not only express feelings, but just to learn and to identify what they're feeling inside, because sometimes they have so many feelings in grief and they don't know how to express that. So we teach them how to do that. We give them lots of safe space and opportunity to do that. They get to meet other kids, which is probably one of the best parts of our program. It's a peer support group, so they learn, hey, I'm not the only one dealing with loss and grief. And then we teach them coping skills, how to express those feelings, how to manage those feelings, and just kind of walk them through that process of grief so that they know I'm not alone and that this is not something that lasts forever.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a fabulous program. Yeah. You just said it's not, they feel they're not alone, because there are peers.
Right.
How many, clients would you say that you have come through?
A typical program, we average about 20 to 30 kids per session, and we keep them in small groups, so we divide them by grade level. So kindergarten and first grade might be in one group, and then second and third in another, and so on. So they're in a smaller group where they have an opportunity to talk and share, because we only meet for an hour on Tuesday nights. So they get lots of opportunities to talk and share. We do activities with them. It's all activity driven. So it's not like you see on TV where they're sitting in a circle saying, hi, my name is, we're doing all kinds of crafts and games and things because we want to make it interesting and fun for them, but also give them an opportunity to talk and share. And so they're really getting a chance to meet those other kids and connect with them over the 6 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 6 weeks long.
Yes. We meet on Tuesday nights for 6 weeks in a row from 7 to 8 p.m.
Wow. And I'm sure for parents out there or guardians who are saying, okay, does this make a difference? Tell us about, the progress that you see throughout these 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's really neat to see. The first night, everybody is nervous, even the volunteers and the staff, because every session is different, so we never know what to expect. But you see the parents kind of dragging the kids in the first night, and everybody's unsure of what to expect. And then by the 6th week, the kids are running in and the parents are dragging in, and it's really neat to see that turnaround because they've realized, this is a safe place to come. And they also, I think, realize that they can't talk about their loss everywhere. It's not really acceptable or socially acceptable, or people don't know how to respond or talk about it. And so here, they come and we just address it head on, and we say, we want to know who your person was who died and what was special about them and why did you love them and what happened to them. We want them to have a chance to talk about all those things. And I think they find that that's really helpful. And so they connect with the others, and they have a lot of fun. And so the difference they make over the 6 weeks is incredible.
Wow. That is amazing. So for folks who may be watching this and they think, okay, the loved one just passed maybe a week ago, or maybe it's been 6-7 years, is there any time limit for that?
There is no time limit on our side. We suggest if it was a traumatic loss, unexpected, maybe an accident or something just really sudden and unexpected, sometimes it takes a month or two for that to kind of sink in and for the shock to wear off. But if they want to come, we're not going to turn them away. What I usually tell the parent is, come and try it if you want to. If you get into the program and you realize it's too soon for us, we need to take a break, then they can always just join the next one. That's not a problem home at all. Doesn't matter how long ago the loss occurred. Children grieve throughout development. So, I mean, you think about maybe a girl who lost her dad at age 5, is then going into middle school or maybe getting her driver's license. Kids tend to re-grieve over those periods. And so it doesn't matter how long ago the loss occurred. We will always accept people who want to come.
That's fantastic. And I'm glad you brought some of those scenarios and things up because, like you said, a lot of people, they may not just realize how to interact, especially with kids. And y'all are all specialists there. Yes.
Our volunteers are wonderful. They're the ones who work in the groups with the children, and many of our volunteers have been there longer than me. And we're talking 20 years. They've been working this program. They just have a heart for these children. And so, yes, children grieve the same grief feelings that adults feel, but they just express them differently because they don't know how to express them. And so a lot of times it comes out as behavior issues, or maybe having attention problems at school, or just fighting more with siblings. We see that a lot, and that's just kids not knowing how to manage the feelings they're feeling inside. And so we want to teach them how to do that, and that it's okay to feel that way, and that it's okay to express those feelings in safe, acceptable ways.
Definitely. So how do people, get into this program? Is it a referral type situation?
We take referrals for sure, but people can just call us. And that's a lot of times what happens is they hear about us. We've been around. This is our 30th year that this program has been around. So people just in the community know if a family has had a loss and there's young children, you need to call Building Bridges, and they will. But we send forms and flyers to all the school counselors. So every SAISD school has the forms available through the school counselors. They're also available on our West Texas Rehab website, westtexasrehab.org, or they can just call our office up and we can send an email or mail them the forms to fill out.
Perfect. Yeah. So for those who may be watching this and are like, okay, but I'm still not sure, should I take, my kid there? Should I, how do I navigate this? What would you tell them?
Just to call me and visit with me about their situation and what's going on. This is a family program, so it's a child-based program, but we also offer a group for the parents and caregivers because they're also grieving and they need support as well. Not only are they grieving the loss of this person, but they're also raising children who are grieving. So they have a unique set of circumstances there, and so we offer a group for them that meets the same time and place in the same building. And we want it to be a family event because what we can do in 6 weeks is just so much, but these parents and these caregivers are going to have to keep going on and providing that support after the program ends. And so we want to give them the tools that they need at home to provide that support. So I would encourage anyone just to call me if they have hesitations or questions, and let's just talk about it and see what their specific circumstance is, and we can talk about what's best for them. We also offer one-on-one counseling and grief support for children and adults. So, if someone is not comfortable in a group setting, or maybe it's too soon, or maybe they just don't want to be in the group at this time, we can do that one-on-one for them. So there's still help available. That's another thing that I'm glad you brought up is it's tailored to them and their situation.
Absolutely. So, that conversation, that first conversation is very important, I'm sure.
Yes, it is. We want to know what their needs are, what they're struggling with. And usually it's because they're seeing some type of behavior in the child, or their school performance has dropped. There's usually some catalyst that sends them our way. So we want to know what's going on in the family so that we know how to help them best.
Definitely. So just to kind of recap, you mentioned some of the signs that they may be seeing in their children, or, even teachers and counselors are seeing in the children, but could you go over those again?
Sure. Yeah. Kids, when they're grieving, we see they have a lot of anxiety. Because their world, which felt pretty stable and normal before the loss, now feels very out of control. So it's really normal to see them show a lot of the signs that kind of mimic ADHD. They have trouble paying attention in class, can't sit still, they're nervous a lot, they're fidgety, they can't get their homework done, they can't finish a task, things like that. They're worried, so they want to call home and see what's going on. We also see a lot of psychosomatic issues, tummy aches, headaches, things that manifest in their physical body that are grief related. And then of course, just the sadness, withdrawal, not wanting to do normal activities, things like that are real common to see.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm sure, you mentioned doing the crafts and things like that. They express it differently, you said. So
Yes.
how are some of those ways that they may be, kind of telling people what's going on, but they may not recognize it?
Yeah, so they, a lot of it is behavior, fighting more, being more aggressive, things like that. And what they have is all this anxiety and maybe anger and maybe fear, frustration, maybe confusion. Maybe they weren't told the whole truth about what happened because the parent doesn't know what to tell them. And so there's just all of this going on inside of them, and it just kind of comes out in some of that anger and fear and aggression that we see. And so, the activities that we do kind of give them an opportunity to get some of that out, whether it's blowing up a paper bag and popping it real loud, writing on it what we get angry about or what we're afraid of or things like that, and then popping those feelings away. Or we do lots of things like that are kind of models for them of, this is what I'm feeling inside and this is how I get those feelings out. That's our main goal. We tell them, especially the little kids, we got to get the feelings from inside here to outside here, and that's what helps.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, you mentioned breaking it up into age groups, and all these activities are, of course, age appropriate and explained in a way that, a kindergartner would understand or a high school senior would understand.
Yes, with our little ones, kindergarten and first grade, they don't have a full adult understanding of death and dying. They don't know the permanence of death, and so they think death is reversible, and we kind of not intentional, but we sometimes help that along by saying Daddy went to heaven, and to them that is no different than Daddy went to Midland. They don't know what that means, and so they think, well, maybe he could come back from heaven if I'm a good enough kid, if I clean my room enough, maybe he can come back. And that's just part of their thinking because they don't have the brain development yet to fully understand. And so we work with them a lot on the differences of what it means to be alive and what it means to die, and we use very simple, blunt terminology so that it doesn't confuse them. Because sometimes if you say, you lost your grandpa, they're like, well, let's go find him. He's lost. So we use the words died and dead, and it sounds very blunt, but it helps them really understand. Even a child as young as 3 years old, if they're walking down the street and they see a bird that has fallen out of the nest and died, they know that bird died. They know that bird's not going to fly again. They know that on a very simple, basic thing. So we talk about how when you die, your body stops working, which means you can't hug anybody, you can't give them a call anymore, you can't take them to get ice cream. And so it kind of helps them learn in a very simple way what has happened. And that's really the first thing we have to do in grief, is really wrap our mind around the reality of the loss. And that can take a long time.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you said, the 6 weeks, that you have them there, but then the guardian continues after that.
Yes, we do lots of education with the parents and caregivers, and we send home homework with the parents, which the kids love. The parents have homework.
The parents get it.
But it's really just an activity for them to do during the week to gather the family together, and it's a talking point, basically, something for them to talk about.
Right.
And it helps because some parents or some families don't even talk about their loved one because they don't know what to talk about. They don't know how to address that topic and how to do that safely. And maybe they grew up in a family that if someone died, you didn't talk about that person. And so we want the families to have lots of opportunities to talk about it because we feel like that's what really helps. That is very healing. And also the rituals that we do, after someone dies, the things we do to honor and remember them. We also do lots of those kinds of things during the 6 weeks and encourage them to continue those on after the program ends.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to show a full screen with some information here. So it's the fall 2021 session, and tell us again how people get registered for that.
So lots of different ways. You can just email me or call me, which the number and the email is there. You can go to the westtexasrehab.org website. Under the events calendar is also the forms that you can download there. Or if you're in SAISD, any school counselor on any campus should have the forms available. And the surrounding schools as well should have them. I send them out to all of them. But yeah, the easiest way is probably just call me and I can figure out the best way to get it to you. So yeah, we're starting in just a little bit of time. September 14th is our first night, and we'll go on Tuesday evenings until October 19th.
Perfect. And again, want to note that there's no charge to participate in this.
Right. All of our bereavement services that we offer are free of charge. So yeah, just come on, and we love getting to know the kids. It's always such an exciting thing for us. We really connect with them over those 6 weeks, and it's hard to say goodbye to them at the end of it too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you get to see that progress and that healing take place.
Yes, and we're very excited. This is our first one at our new building on the West Texas Rehab campus.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that, and it's our first in-person session in over a year, because we had to do virtual during COVID last year, and so we're excited to be back together in person.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about this. Any final thoughts or messages you want to share?
Just that if anybody has questions or needs information, please just call me. I'd love to talk to them about their situation. And like we visited about, we have lots of different options. So if the program doesn't fit their needs at this time, we can certainly still provide them support. So if they are hesitant at all, just call me and let's figure it out.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on again, and we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time on 411 with Rehab.